And then we'll do another 4 breaths. Just see if you can keep your belly drawn in slightly and focus on expanding your sides, your rib cage in all directions. So inhaling, draw your belly in and up, and then expand your rib cage. And then exhaling, just feel your rib cage drawing back in. And continue breathing nice and slowly, and just notice how that feels. Notice how your upper body feels, how your head feels, whether it feels like it's lifting slightly as you breathe in this way. Okay, and then we'll just place our hands then by our sides if they're not already. And we'll just bring our forehead towards the floor and the palms so that they're facing up to the ceiling. And then we'll inhale, draw your belly in, just focus on expanding your rib cage. And at the same time, just lift the shoulders off the floor, keeping your chest down. And then exhale, just let yourself just sink back down again. So your shoulders just drop down. So again, inhaling, so you can focus on drawing your belly in and up and expanding your rib cage. Just let your shoulders squeeze together. And then exhaling, just let your shoulders just rest back down. So we'll do 2 more. Inhaling, just let your shoulders lift together, squeeze together. And then exhaling, shoulders just dropping down. And then last one then, inhale, draw your belly in, just focus on expanding the rib cage. Squeeze the shoulders together. And then exhaling. So we're going to hold at the top this time. So as inhale, just squeeze the shoulders together. And then just keep breathing. Maybe lifting up the chest now as well. So you keep drawing your belly in, engaging your abdominals. You might lift the arms off the floor too, reaching the hands down towards the feet. And keep pressing into the front of the feet, keep pressing the hips. Drawing your belly in, just breathe nice and slowly. Your neck can just stay nice and long, the back of the neck soft. So keep squeezing the shoulders together, keep reaching the hands down away from you. And breathe slowly. So 2 more. Last one. And then on the exhale, just lowering yourself down. So it's making an L shape with the right arm. So just bring it out to the side, just reach over the shoulders, far over to the side and the arm over. And then we'll bring the left hand in, push into your left hand, so you take an inhale. And then exhale, just going to lean over onto that right arm. So we're aiming to stretch the right shoulder, chest, and up to you how far you twist and roll onto the arm. So it might just be even staying on your front, or you might be rolling more and more onto that right hip. That left leg may sweep more and more behind you. And then you can rest the head down then on the floor or on your left hand. And then just breathe slowly here, just working to stretch the underneath side, chest, shoulder. So throughout the class, if anyone doesn't feel anything right, like pins and needles, tingling, not pain, anything, just come out of the posture. So maybe choose a different posture instead. You don't want to feel anything that doesn't feel good. Okay, so just 1 more inhale there. And then exhale, let's roll back over onto our fronts. So it's now making an L shape with the left arm. Just claw it over to the left. Let's push into the right hand then, and then just slowly rolling over onto your left side, or just roll over to the point where you start feeling a stretch. And then just holding still here, just repeating now on the other side. So just paying attention to what you're feeling in your body, what you're stretching, opening. Okay, so just one more inhale there on this side. And then exhale, let's roll back over onto your fronts. So just bring the hands back behind you like we started. And you can bring the feet in about hip width. You can press down into the hips. And then inhale, let's lift up to where we ended last time. So lifting the shoulders, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulders together, lift the arms, reach back towards the feet. And then exhale as we sink ourselves back down. So we'll do 3 more moving at the full locust or easy locust. So inhale, draw your belly in, reach your hands back. And then exhale as you lower. So 2 more, so keep pressing into the hips, press into the front of the feet, and be active in the legs, pressing down into the floor. And then 1 more. Keep rolling the shoulders together, keep reaching the hands back. And then exhale. And then we're going to hold up, so like we did it earlier, this time maybe lifting the legs up too, and then reaching back with the feet. Keep squeezing the shoulders together, keep reaching the arms up. And so about 4 breaths, keep drawing your belly in. Legs really strong, so we can avoid bending the knees, so really straighten the legs out there. So if it feels too much for the back or anything, just come back to a previous option. So 1 more inhale. And then exhale, let's lower all the way down onto the front. Just bring the hands down underneath the shoulders. Let's tuck the toes underneath. We'll either push up onto the knees for the first one, or if you fancy just coming straight up into a plank, really brace. So without an arch position, so try and keep that plank shape. Let's slowly lift yourself up into push-ups. And then lift the hips nice and high. So our first down dog, and just focus on lengthening out there. So pushing, spreading the weight nicely through the hands. Just pushing into the floor. Wrap the triceps under, keep lifting. Widen through the shoulders there. You can keep it lengthening or lifting the hips. Notice how the back of the legs are feeling. Calves, how you're placing the feet. How does the weight feel through the hands, through the feet? So just keep your left foot down. Inhale, reach the right foot to the back of the mat and then just straight up in the air behind you. And like what we just done on the floor, exhale, just bend the right knee and start to turn the hips to the right. So down dog split with kind of a hip open position. And keep holding here, pushing back into the hands, into that left leg. Keep spreading the weight through the fingers, through the hands. Just notice how this twist feels. Okay, so inhaling then, let's level back out. On the exhale, let's lunge the right foot to the inside of the right hand. So just pop your right elbow onto the knee, just take a breath in. Coming into like a side angle, supported. On the exhale, drop your left heel down, and then just press yourself up onto the knee. And then just like a bow and arrow, just start to reach the left arm upwards towards the ceiling. So from here, we're coming into a warrior 2. So push into that right foot, really brace. And just bring your body upright, reaching the arms apart away from each other. So nice and easy. And warrior 2, just start to sink down that front thigh more parallel to the floor, whilst keeping your bodies upright. So instead of reaching forward like that side angle, just keeping your bodies as tall as you can. The legs are really strong here, so you keep externally rotating that right hip or and opening that front knee. And keep grounding into that back foot, and back legs nice, strong and straight. You can lift the toes. Maybe lift the arches. Notice how the weight is spread through the feet. The arms are really strong here, reaching it away from each other. Okay, so a couple more breaths. And keep drawing your bellies in as well, bracing. So more like a warrior, like kind of in between humble warrior and kind of warrior 2. So just bring the hands behind our backs now. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together, interlace the hands and lift the chest. And just take a breath in. And then on the exhale, just stay a little bit longer on this front leg. Just going to start to lean inside the right leg. Just start to reach the arms up overhead. So you can keep the legs the same. Instead of letting your bum swoop out behind you, and keep scooping that right outer hip in. Or just keep and drawing your head towards the the heel maybe of that front foot inside. So aiming to really work through the legs, but also stretch the shoulders and chest. So really stay strong in the legs, stay grounded through the feet, keep reaching the hands over. If you can, not rest your body on the leg just to make it a bit harder for your core and that, just hold yourself up. Just a couple more breaths, the legs might be feeling it, hopefully they're warming up nicely. Then on the next exhale level, just let go of the hands, place the hands down, and then we'll step the right foot backwards into down dog split, so where we were earlier. So inhale, you can give it a shake if it needs a shake. And then exhale, let's bend the right knee, turn the hip open again, just like we did before. Here we can do one last posture on this side. So inhale, let's level back out. Exhale, let's bring the right knee now towards the left hand. So right knee across, and then we'll slowly lower ourselves to sit down. So just adjusting yourself then so you're kind of facing away from the front. We're going to pop our left elbow onto your left knee. So first we'll get yourself sat upright, so use a pillow if you need to. Or reach the left arm inside the left leg, or towards the left foot. So we're coming into a side bend. And we're just leaning, turning our body away from the leg, like what we did in that first side angle. And then just start to find a stretch in that right side. If you want to, you can add in by reaching the arm overhead. You can make a pillow with the left hand, or maybe hold onto the foot and bring yourself through. So just wherever you're feeling a stretch, it doesn't matter too much what you look like. Let's go for that nice sensation in that right side. Nice deep breaths there. So if you want to, you can be active in that left leg as well, so you can flex the left foot, maybe rotate internally rotate that left foot, pointing it upwards, maybe that feels good for the hip. Okay, so one more inhale. On the exhale, let's brace as we pull ourselves back up. We're going to swivel over that right leg. So we're turning onto our left tiptoe again. We're just stepping straight back into plank and then lifting the hips up backwards into your downward facing dog. Just notice how we feel, how our sides feel compared to when we were first in our down dogs. So let's lift the left leg this time. So ground through the hands, that right foot, lift the left leg high. Exhale, bend the left knee, start to turn our hips open to the side. You're just holding still. So how's that right, what we're doing with the right ankle, right foot. So you can work to push the heel down in time. And what you're doing with the right knee, right hip, again we sway one side, you can keep always bringing that outer hip in or more to the left, say, depending on what you're doing. What you're doing with that left hip, you can maybe turn it more open. Lift the knee up, or bring your foot more to your bum. What you do with the shoulders, you might want to turn them or level them. So really see what everything's feeling, what you're doing. Inhale to level yourself out. Exhale, let's lunge the left foot to the inside of the left hand. Okay, just bring it forward if you need to. Put the left elbow onto the left knee. And then like a bow and arrow, we're going to draw the right hand to the ceiling, dropping the right heel down first. And then just start to reach it upwards. And just take a breath in. On the exhale, push into your left foot and pull your body upright, so you're in a warrior two. And just stay in for a few breaths in your warrior two. So gazing over that left hand, and just notice how you're holding that left thigh, so you can keep opening the left knee. So ankles nice and neutral, foot and weight spread through that foot as well. If you tend to stick your bum up behind, you might want to kind of scoop under a little bit. And keep bracing, keep that right leg nice and strong behind you. Right foot grounded. More intense, you can sink more, so the feet step further away and that left thigh is more parallel to the floor. Notice if you're leaning forward, leaning back. So just try and be as upright with your body. So a little bit more on this left leg. Have a go at interlacing the hands in an unusual way behind the back. So you inhale, squeeze the shoulders together, lift the chest. And then exhale, leaning inside the left leg. So start to lean towards the left knee without letting your bum sway behind you. So see if you can keep scooping that left outer hip in and keep reaching more and more and more forward. Okay, keep bending the left knee over the ankle. If it feels too much here, just lift up a little bit or step the right foot closer, narrow the stance. And you're trying to stay strong in the thighs. And if you can, keep your body from resting on the leg. The leg might get in the way of the body. Notice how you're holding the shoulders. You might want to lean the hands more to the left or more to the ceiling or more to the right. See how that feels? Okay, these legs working here quite a lot. So another inhale, one last breath in. Exhale, hands down then. And then step back into down dog split. If you need to shake the leg off first. The nice posture now coming out. So as inhale, left leg high, exhale, bend the left knee. Turn the hip open for down dog split. Inhale as we level back out, and then exhale, bring the left knee towards the right hand this time, and then lower your hips down, spinning the right foot upwards, and then we're just turning so we're sat as even as possible on our sit bones. Bringing the right elbow inside the left right knee, or towards the shin, wherever you can reach, and then the left arm can stay behind your back, or even reach the left arm overhead. So anywhere you're getting a stretch in that left side this time. Oh, I forgot to say last time, if anyone's right inner thighs feeling it too much, like I don't really get much of a stretch in this right leg, but that might be one of the main areas of tension in this position, then feel free to just bend the knee as well, and we can be here instead. You can make a pillow with the right hand, that's quite nice to support the head. Just notice how you're holding your head. You might want to let the head drop a little bit and might get a stretch in the neck. So feel free to wiggle around in each of the postures and see how your body's feeling. Nice shoulder, especially if the left hand is behind the back. You might get a nice stretch across that top of the side of the neck there. So just staying for one more breath in of this pose. And then exhale, then a swivel back over the left thigh, placing the hands down, coming back into plank. So you turn onto your right tiptoe and then just step back into plank, and then lifting the hips up, pressing back into our downward facing dog there. So from here, as inhale, lift the hips and roll forward into your plank again. Scoot the elbows in, exhale and slowly lower ourselves down onto our front where we started. And then just give your hips a little rock out and just observe how your body's feeling. Okay, so let's bring the hands back behind us. And this time, so let's finish where we start where we finished last time. So as inhale, squeeze the shoulders together, draw your belly in, lift the legs and chest. And then exhale as we lower everything down to the ground. So everything's lifting, inhale, draw your belly in. So brace at the same time. Scoop the shoulders together, keep reaching the hands to the feet. Legs are strong, lifting, and then exhale. So just two more, inhale, squeeze the shoulders together, reach the hands back, neck nice and long, and then exhale. And then final time then. And then we're going to hold with the hands interlaced, maybe. So again, let's lift up where we left off, and maybe interlace the hands behind us like what we did in those warriors. Squeeze the shoulders together, reach back, hands towards the feet. And keep drawing your bellies in, keep bracing, keep bracing strong here. And added stretch in the shoulders and chest. The leverage here, the interlaced hands reaching back. So back body working quite strongly. Glutes, legs. So one more inhale. And then exhale as we lower ourselves back down. So let's bring your right arm over to the right. This time let's keep the right arm straight and just walk over with it a little bit and just take a breath in. And then exhale, we're going to scorpion twist a bit further. So maybe bringing that left foot right the way back towards the hand. It may not meet the hand, so don't worry if it does. Doesn't, or it does. And then the left hand then you can use as a pillow or head on the floor, just like last time. But this one, you may get a bigger twist with the arms straight. Make sure not to overstretch the shoulder though, so you might need to back off, or that left hip might get a stretch as well, or the top side of the body. So if anyone's not liking it in the knee or the lower back, then just keep adjusting. Okay, so another inhale, and then exhale as we roll back over onto our fronts. Just bring the left arm straight out to the left, just like the right arm. So walk it over, push into the right hand, and then scorpion twist on the other side. And head where is comfortable. Keep reaching that right foot back behind you. You're getting more of a back bend there as well. So one more breath in there then, and exhale as we come back over onto our fronts. So just bring the hands back behind us, the unusual grip. Inhale, let's lift up, legs in the air, lift up into interlace low cuts, and then exhale as we sink down. So we've got 3 more of these, and then we're moving into bow. So as inhale as we lift, legs, chest, shoulders, arms interlace the unusual way. So one finger grip over, exhale. So stay with the unusual grip. So 2 more, inhale as you lift up. And then exhale. And then final time, inhale. So these are really nice, especially if you've been sat down a lot. And exhale. So maybe reaching for your feet, ankles. This is going to be quite a bit more intense. Just start to roll the shoulders back, push the hips into the ground, push the feet into the hands, and start to kick back into bow. So you've got the leverage now of the feet, bringing you back by kicking back. Just watch for your lower back and knees here, so just back off if there is anything weird. So quite strengthening here as well, energizing. So one last breath then. And then exhale as we lower and undo the arms and legs. So let's bring ourselves back into our plank. So either kneeling plank or a full press. So after that back bend, we want to try and keep ourselves braced now, not back bend again as we lift up. So on the exhale then, keep everything solid, push through plank, then lift the hips high again, and we're back in down dog. Again, really focus on lengthening out. If you want to twist or anything, sway, and just move how it feels good, shake off. Okay, so let's inhale, lift the right leg nice and high. Exhale, let's bend the right knee and turn the hips open to the side. So have a go at keep bringing the weight into the right hand a little more. And then just stepping the left arm out as far to the left as possible. So kind of like to the long edge of the mat. Maybe coming onto your fingertip or even one fingertip. If anyone does, I'm going to stay here. If anyone fancies the foothold, at least have a go at reaching back with the left hand for your right foot. But I'm going to stay with this option, just one finger. So make sure your right shoulder, right elbow, everything is feeling strong and supported in this position. Okay, so let's bring the left hand back to centre, normal down dog, level out, and then exhale, let's lunge the right foot to the inside of the right hand. Put your right elbow onto your right knee again, drop your left heel down like a bow and arrow, inhale as you reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. And this time let's bring the left hand behind and just hook it onto your right thigh or just behind your back. So your legs are the same as what we did last time, so warrior two, exactly the same with the legs, side angle, but the left arm's behind. So if anyone wants a deeper stretch now, we're going to drop the right arm inside the left leg. Sorry, right arm inside the right leg. So just slowly sinking down towards the floor. And instead of swaying that right hip behind you, see if you can keep pushing the hips through. And then if anyone feels that they're quite low to the ground here with the shoulder towards the knee, you may take a bind by bringing the right hands underneath and reaching for your left hand. And again, see if you can almost lean into it. So rather than letting your hips, again, sway forward, back, and your chest sway forward, see if you can almost just like the humble in a way, but more open, leaning into it. So you almost like getting quite a deep stretch for that left shoulder, maybe, and chest, maybe that right inner thigh. It's really feeling it. Okay. So let's undo the hand if you've gone for the bind, and let's start to bend the right knee more and more and more over the ankle, and bring the right hand quite far in front diagonally. We're going to try and push into half moon without staggering the left foot in. So really push deeply into that right foot, brace, and see if you can lift the left leg. I'm going to turn because you can't really see what's happening. So half moon, the block into the right hand does make it a lot nicer. So maybe allow us to straighten. We want to work to straighten the right leg. If we can stack our bones, it will be less effort rather than holding a bent leg half moon, which is a little bit more tiring for the leg there. So we'll use blocks to help with that. And if anyone wants to, then we can reach the left arm upwards towards the ceiling, and maybe even turn the gaze to that left hand as well. So really, again, maybe feeling the inner thigh, right leg, hamstrings. Maybe your core muscles, feeling it a lot. Supporting leg to balance. Feeling it across the chest if we get a stretch by in this open position. Then more. I'm not sure if anyone wants to have a go at interlacing hands behind the back here instead of holding the foot. You can take more weight into your right foot. I don't know if I've gone over the top because I can't see anyone. Maybe have a go at bringing both hands behind the back and then squeeze the shoulders together and reach the hands away. Okay, we won't stay there much longer. Let's bend the front leg, land the left foot back, and then swivel round, reaching the right leg back up in the air behind. Down dog split again. Shake it off if it needs to shake off. Exhale, bend the right knee, turn the hip open like the last time. And again, if anyone wants to, we'll bring the weight into the right hand and reach the left arm out to the left, one finger. Or two. Inhale, then let's bring the left arm back and bring the right knee towards the left hand. Like before, lower your hips down and swivel around to sit. Okay, so sit nice and upright. I'll show you from this way. We're going to lean onto your left hip and lift the right knee upwards. And then we're going to, we can sit quite even here, we don't have to lean onto that left hip. But we're going to have a go at binding here. So like what we just did, and we can bring our left hand behind our back, and the right arm's going to wrap around the right knee and hold on. But we're going to have a go like compass. So we can lift the right knee upwards, reach forward with the right hand, so you're kind of folding inside the legs. And if your knee comes towards the shoulder, you can bring the right hand through the gap and maybe round onto your right hip there. Otherwise, if not, just either just hug the knee or just stay here instead, and without having the bind. So from there then, wherever we are with the arms, we're going to lean back a little bit and see if we can start to lift the right leg off the floor. So if you're not in it, you can just keep the hands behind the back and really work our quads here if you haven't got the bind. If you've got the bind there, it'll be more like a bird of paradise rather than compass. Sorry, as you straighten that leg there. So like this side angle bind we just done. Not there. Okay, I hope that's making sense. So we'll do a few more breaths. Try and sit as tall as you can. Try and keep quite strong if you're not doing the underneath bind. It's quite strong in the quads, hip flexors. It's a lot easier, but still a bit of a deeper stretch. And then from there, we'll just return the right foot back down. We'll spin back over the right leg, stepping back into plank. When you're ready, lift, step back, and then lift the hips high, push back into your downward facing dog. Okay, other side. So inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, bend the left knee, turn the hip open to the side. And then maybe bring the right arm out to the right if our left arm's feeling stable. It's not sliding or anything like that. The shoulder's feeling good, elbow. Maybe coming onto your fingertip or even having a go at reaching the right hand for your left foot. So I'm just stay there. Test less weight in the right hand altogether. Without letting anything move. So you just lift the arm, not letting your hips suddenly move out of the way. Okay, so let's slowly bring the right hand back and lunge the left foot inside of the left hand. Drop your left elbow onto your knee, right heel down, and then start to bow and arrow the right arm outwards towards the ceiling. Just take a breath in there. Exhale, drop your right hand behind your back, roll your right shoulder open. You might even hook onto that left fat thigh. Just find a stretch in that right shoulder there. Keep bracing. And then the left arm may sink more inside the left leg. Otherwise, just stay here. If you'd rather stay here, if you get a good stretch there and strengthening there, just stay. Otherwise, left hand can lower without your chest dropping or hips swaying back. If the shoulder's quite low to the elbow, sorry, that makes no sense. If the shoulder's quite near the knee, the left arm can come underneath through the gap and hold on to your right hand behind you. So just like what we've done on the floor, in a way on the other side. And keep pushing the hips through, make sure I'm not overstretching the shoulders or anything. Hips feeling good, legs strong. So we're coming into another posture from here, half moon. Just stay a couple more breaths here though, so keep working. And then we'll undo the left hand, keep the right hand behind the back, reach the left hand far in front, and then see if you can really brace, push into your left foot, and have a go at lifting the right leg just straight up from there. Okay, easier if you've got a block underneath your hand as well. It's a bit of a nicer posture with blocks, so you're less, I'm a bit folded here, so I like to lift out underneath hip a little bit more. There. Okay, so either stay in here, really keep that right leg really strong, reaching back. So flexing the foot or you pushing the heel away. Keep turning the chest, hips, everything to the side. You want to reach the right arm to the ceiling, you always reach it up and give it a little shake. If you're getting pins and needles, just bring the hand down or come back at the stand. And then if you want to have a go at the interlaced option, we can take the right hand around, left hand behind us. Keep your gaze fixed on something. Keep working there, you guys are going strong. And I'll stay with this one, I think. And then when you're done, about the same, we'll land the right foot far behind us. Hands down, down dog split, maybe shake off the left leg. Okay, so bend the left knee, turn the hip open. Then you might want to bring the right arm out to the right. Get less weight on that right hand. Right hand on left foot, maybe. Inhale and just bring the hands back to centre. And exhale, left knee towards the right wrist. So we're sitting down, lowering your hips to the ground, and just give yourself a shake up. So we'll be straightening this left leg now in a moment. So just get yourself ready. So we've got the bind, so the option would just be to bring your hands behind the back. The strap as well, if you've got a strap, say on the other side, would be step the left foot out of the way and just bring the strap ready, and then you can hold on and walk your hands closer down the strap there. And then the other option would be to take the bind. So you can reach forward, the left arm in front, inside this left knee, and then you can bring that left hand round towards the left hip. And then the right hand around, you reach for your wrist with that left hand. And then from there then, you can try and sit nice and upright, lean back, and maybe straighten out the leg. So you might not straighten the leg entirely, so it takes quite a big stretch. And have a go at straight until you feel a stretch. Just working to sit tall. Make sure that you're not overstretching the right shoulder or the shoulders on the left when it's not too much pressure on the knee. So like the side angle. The higher up the leg, the leg is at the arm, the easier it is as well, I find, to straighten. Okay, when you feel like you've done about the same there, we can just slowly bring the left foot back down. And then we'll spin back over the left thigh. Inhale, exhale, we're stepping back into our plank. Lifting the hips high again, and we're back into our downward facing dog, and just shake off. Okay, so we're going to be lying down. So when you're ready to, let's roll ourselves forward into plank. So inhale, and then scoot the elbows in, exhale, lower. So you're lying on your front there, and just give your hips a rock out. Maybe rest the head on the hands. Okay, so let's have a go. Let's inhale, let's start to lift the chest. So like what we finished with now, back into our bow. So bring in or any of the previous options we've had. So reaching back for your feet, we've got 4 lifts from here. So inhale as we lift up into bow, and then exhale as we lower all the way back down. So 3 more. You might want to play around with flexing the feet or doing something different on each one. So inhale, lifting the bow, up into bow, and then exhale as we lower. So 2 more. Inhale, you might have a go at lifting the knees up as well. And then 1 more. And then exhale. We're going to have a go at rolling over onto one side. So if you'd rather not do this, we've got the twist that we had lying on our, with one arm out to the side. Otherwise, we're going to have a go, and you might want to turn it around or see how it feels if this isn't suitable. So otherwise, we'll have a go at inhale, lift up into bow. Exhale, then we're going to roll over onto our right arm. So just start to lean over, and then push the feet back in towards the hands, and like we're doing bow, but on our side. You can keep the neck supported, or even if it's comfortable to rest it, you might get a bit of a stretch in it, but make sure, so I like to keep my neutral here. So inhale, and then if the knees are uncomfortable, just back off with the legs, or come back onto your front. So a few more breaths here, just hold in. And then on the exhale, then let's swivel back onto our front. Inhale as we lift back into full bow. Full bow. Exhale as we roll onto our left side. And again, we're just holding still here. So keep kicking the feet backwards. Make sure the legs, my legs are really warm in here. So you might want to back off with the push and just a bit and just hold the foot rather than kicking it away. Whereas if you're kicking it all this time, the quads might be really feeling it. So you want a good quad strengthening, then just keep kicking back, make sure it's not overdoing it. Okay, when you feel like you've done about the same there, we'll roll back over onto our fronts. Last time then, inhale, lift into a bow, and then exhale, we'll undo everything, lie back on our front. Okay, so let's bring the hands back underneath, ready for our push-up. Tuck your toes. When you're ready, kneeling plank or a full plank. Inhale, lift all the way up, and then lift the hips high and lengthen out in your downward facing dog. Okay, so just a few breaths if you want to twist or sway, move around, push the heels down, lift your, flex your shoulders more, or so just play around. So when you're ready to then, inhale, lift it onto tiptoes. Exhale, let's bend the knees, sit back, hips towards the heels. Look forward, walk, step or hop to the front of the mat. When you get there, we can bring our hands on shins or on the floor, lift ourselves away from our legs, just halfway up. Inhale, exhale, fold forward and in towards the legs. And again, just stay here for a bit, just dangling. Pedal, sway, twist, shake off. So see what feels nice in the body. Okay, so we're going to heel toe now, the feet about just a bit wider, maybe a bit wider than the shoulders. And then we're going to fold back in towards the legs, so you can feel free to turn the feet out slightly or in an angle that feels good for the hips. A bit more for the inner thighs here. So we're either going to take a bird of paradise standing balance, or we're going to have a go at just holding the knee and balancing there. So firstly then we're going to start to lower the hips down into a little yogi squat. So start to pull the knees apart and lower your hips down inside the feet. And you might need to go wider, narrower, beyond our tiptoes. You can draw your palms together, just keep opening the knees out. You draw the shoulders down, lengthen the neck, lengthen the spine. If you'd rather not do any more balancing, you can always stay here as well. And then when you're ready to, then we'll push the floor over the feet, pull the knees apart, and then see if you can keep your right shoulder towards the knee, and come onto your right tiptoe, and bring your right arm through the gap, turn the thumb to the ceiling, and bring your right hand onto your right hip. You might need to bring the weight into the left hand a little bit, heel toe the left foot in, just a tiny bit so you can get some more weight onto that left foot and more comfortably. And then left arm can reach behind for the right hand. So like the binds we did seated in side angle, it's bend the left knee, otherwise we're just holding the right knee instead. Bend the left knee, try and use your left leg to roll up with the bind. Yeah. I'm gonna flip my hair. Ooh. Okay, and then try and stand as tall as you can. Maybe even straightening the leg here. Otherwise, don't worry about straightening it, just keep the knee bent. The option is to hold the knee. We can just come to centre with the knee or out to the side. Or you can even, maybe hands on hips, straighten the legs wide or big toe hold. Any standing balance otherwise. I've got the bind there. From there then, we'll just slowly return, straight bend the leg. Bend the left leg, slowly, slowly, slowly return. The foot quite wide there. And then just shake off again, back into your fold. So again, let's pull the feet outside for our yogi squat and then lower our hips down inside the feet. So the shoulders coming quite close to the knee for these binds. So if that feels way too much, just go for the knee, or if the shoulders aren't liking it or anything, just listen to your body. So we'll keep the left shoulder towards the left knee, start to lift the hips up, bring the left arm through the gap, left thumb to the ceiling, left hand onto your left hip, and then reaching around for your right hand. You might want to come onto your tiptoe to give you a bit more space as well for that. The right foot can heel toe in a little bit, underneath the right hips, ready to stand on. Push into your right foot, use your right leg to lift rather than trying to pull your body up by using your arm. So you need to use that right leg. I'm dancing now. It's the right side. Okay, once you're upright and still and stable, keep your gaze still at something. Almost, there we go. Okay, so once you feel balanced, doing just hold. Keep trying to grow as tall as you can. Keep working to straighten the right leg. Maybe straightening out the left leg. Stay there. Okay. When you feel like you've done the same, sorry if I'm putting you up here dancing, we'll slowly lower the left leg back down. Once you've lowered it, just undo the hands and then just give yourself a shake off. So we've got one last posture before we bring it right down. So we're coming back into our yogi squat. So heel toe the feet. I'm going to come to the side for this. So just lower the hips down inside. So our final straight arm balance, we're going to try firefly, but feel free to do a crow or a different arm balance that you prefer. So similar to that last one, we want the shoulders to be quite high up towards the knees. So from yogi squat, we're just going to lift the hips up and bring our shoulders underneath and reach out the hold of your ankles. And then try and keep the knees right up the arms. Ooh. Okay, so from there then we're going to bring the hands quite far behind us and then sit on the hands. So the fingers are bringing more towards the heels. They can turn out slightly as well. And then when we're sat back onto the palms, we might have a go at lifting the feet off the floor, maybe even straightening the legs. You can have a go at lifting the legs, toes up to the ceiling, or bending the elbows and having the legs just reaching more forward, hips high there. Another option would be the shoulder pressing pose where you heel toe the feet in, hook the feet. It's a little bit easier to balance it. The feet just kind of dangling. Okay, otherwise crow. Oh, that's intense. When you are ready to move on, just sit down and shake off. Give the shoulders a shake after that. Just open it back up again then. Okay, so when you are sat down, we can come into a wide leg position, or if you prefer to bend the knees, or straight, any seated position. Just bring the hands back behind us, squeeze the shoulders together, lift the chest. Try and steady your breath. So either stay upright, or you might fold and keep reaching the hands behind. So aim really is to stretch off the shoulders after that big kind of arm balance. Stretch the chest. So if it's not upright, you might be getting it in a thigh or hamstring stretch there as well. Play around with the head, neck, anything that feels nice. And then when you're ready to, we'll lift ourselves back up if you folded. We'll slowly slide the legs in and just control yourself back onto your back or down onto your back. And then just give yourself a shake. Just notice how you're feeling lying upside down now and the other way around. Just notice if your body really fancies anything particular, what it may be. Just slow your breath down again. Okay, so from here, let's bring the feet in towards us. So feel free to do your own things now because we're coming towards the end of the class. So press down into the feet about hip width and slowly peel your hips up, lifting into a shoulder bridge. You can lengthen your neck out there or soften the back of the neck. You can walk the shoulders underneath a little bit more. You can hold the ankles. You might want to lift up into a full upward facing bow as well. So I feel like that today. So maybe bring the hands behind. Again, like firefly, you might bring the arms a bit wider or turn the hands out. Maybe pressing up then, arching to a big wheel or crab. Okay, when you feel ready to lie back down, we just control yourself back onto the ground. And then just either staying with your just knees bent, like lying on your back, or you might want to start to fold and curl the knees into your chest. You might just take a really easy, like just lift the knees a little bit and rock out side to side, or the knees may squeeze more together. You might keep the arms on the floor and do some twists side to side. So just move what feels nice. Windscreen wiper legs might be a nice option there as well. Okay. Now we'll be coming into our final posture, so I'm going to do a shoulder stand to finish. But feel free if you want to do a headstand or forearm stand or anything else. Maybe legs up a wall might be nice, or happy baby even. So if you do fancy shoulder stand, the first shoulder stand might just be legs in the air. And the next one to lift the hips might be wedge something underneath your hips like a pillow or a bolster or a block. And you can lift your hips by just making a little bit of a rock and roll action. Push the elbows down as the hips are there, push down into the elbows to help you drive up a bit higher. And then you can catch your back with the hands. You can keep the hips quite low and then bring them further behind in time and just check how that's feeling for your body. And then maybe lifting up into a full shoulder stand, one leg at a time or even both together. You might even bring the legs back into plough behind you. And then whenever you're ready to finish, then we'll lower yourself back down. If you do have a bolster at home, it might be nice to finish lying on a bolster. I need to pick one up from the studio. But you can maybe use a pillow, it might not be as effective. And roll it up a little bit, or just a foam roller might be nice. And then just lie on the pillow kind of lengthways, see if that'll work. And then just to open the chest even more, shoulders even more. I'm feeling like I need that today. If the head's hanging off the end, that might be nice to give you a bit of a stretch for the front of the neck. Or you might want another pillow or something to support the neck as well. So when you're ready to rest, if you do want a bolster under the spine or even blocks like a T under the spine, you can do that. Otherwise, just lying in Shavasana. And you can bring the legs a little bit away from each other, the shoulders shuffle underneath you, neck's comfortable. We're just going to rest our bodies. So we'll come back to our breathing like we did at the start. So just in your own time, just take 4 breaths and just focus on your belly expanding. And then 4 breaths, focus on your rib cage expanding in all directions. And then we're just going to lie still after that and just notice what comes up. If our mind is busy this morning, if you prefer to just stay with your breaths, keep going, 4 belly, 4 ribs, alternating. Otherwise, just notice. For the last few moments, if you like to, you can just focus on one thing that we really appreciate or feel grateful for in our lives. It could be absolutely anything, and then just see if you can bring feelings of appreciation or gratitude about from your thoughts. And we just start to make little movements again. So your fingers and your toes. Maybe stretching out the arms or legs. And then however's comfortable, if you want to hug the knees and roll to one side, or just hug the knees into your chest. And then from here, we'll take your time to come to a seated position. And we'll take a stretch upwards, big breath in. And exhale, let's bring your palms down in front. And thanks so much everyone for joining this morning.